Right, instead of deleting this sheet, I'm actually going to rename it. So right and click on it to rename, and I'm going to call it line. So now I can add a new worksheet. Notice that there's a new dashboard and a new story. We saw very briefly in the introduction what a story is like. So let's have a look at a new worksheet. So it wipes it clean, but we can always get back to it. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the quantity. So we'll add that to the sheet. And what are we going to compare the quantity against? Let's compare it against the region. So we'll add that to the sheet. So now we have a simple bar chart. Bit too simple maybe. Let's start investigating some of the things that we can do. Well, first of all, suppose I wanted to narrow it down by customer name. So I can drag this into the filters. So the filter says I can select which item I want to look at. So I want all people with starting with the word Aaron. So that's these three. So we've got the full list down here and we've got what's highlighted up here. So I've selected 3 out of 793 values. Now I don't just have to type up here, I can use a wildcard which says contains or starts with or ends with or equals. Or I could do a filter based on some fairly complicated stuff. So for instance, the total quantity of everything else selling must be more than 1,000, say. Or I can say I want the top 5 quantities. But I'm not going to do any of that. Just know that that's available. So let's click OK. So now it is only giving me those customers whose first name are Aaron. So you can instantly see that we've got central here and then east here, south and west in no particular order. Well, it's in alphabetical order. But let's say I wanted it in order of quantity. I wanted quantity right up here. So I wanted this big bar up here, and then I want this next bar there, and then that, and then that. So what I can do is I can highlight this rows, look down here, and find the sort function. And I can't see a sort function. So instead, I use these two. So sort region descending by quantity, or ascending by quantity. Why it's not there, I have no idea. You would think it would be a fairly common thing to include in a drop-down box, but apparently not. Now notice what happens when I sort. This region, where this arrow normally is, there is a sort feature which shows that the region is being sorted. So what else can we do? Well, first of all, let's get rid of this filter of customer name. So just drag it off and you can see we're back where we were, except it's no longer sorted. So let's resort. Right, next I want to add this segment to it. Now the segment, if you remember, shows whether it's corporate or home office or that sort of thing. So I'm going to put it next to the columns, see what happens. So now it's dividing up the west into consumer, corporate and home office, the east into that, central into that and the south into that.